Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use function date underscore add in PySpark. So this is one of the date functions in PySpark. So this is mainly used for adding a specified number of days to date column in a data frame. So that means if I have one date value, so I want to add some days to that particular value. So I can use this date underscore add. The syntax is like date underscore add, and inside that we need to pass the arguments as start underscore date. So that means date column we need to provide, and integer value we need to provide like number of days we want to add it. The thumb rule is like adds a specified number of days to a date column. That means if you add here number of days, if you add positive value, it means future date. Suppose if you add negative value here, that means past date. If you see arguments, so main arguments are start underscore date and days. So start is the date column, date or string column representing a date values. And this days, the days is an integer value or an integer column representing the number of days to add. And what will get written is it returns a new column of date type with the calculated dates. So that means our initial input column is a date, and for that we are adding some integer value, and our output column we are getting in the form of date column. And subtracting days. Suppose if you pass negative integer values, then it will subtract days from the date. So that means if you are providing positive value, that is future date. Suppose if you're passing negative value, that is past date. So that means it will subtract the date. So it will add the date. If you're providing positive value, it will add the date. If you're providing negative value, it will subtract the days. Before going further, first we'll see the difference between date underscore add and date underscore months. So date underscore add, it will add the days, number of days for existing date. Add underscore months is, it will add the number of months for existing date. So first, what I'm doing, I'm importing the required functions. So main functions I required is date underscore add, date difference, and current underscore date. So my first scenario is like how to add 10 days to current date. That means it will add 10 days to today. So current date means by using current underscore date, we'll print today's date. For today's date, it will add 10 days. So before that, what I'm doing, before proceeding example for this, first we'll see what is this spark dot range one. So this is like Python range one. So spark dot range one means Spark by default, it will generate column, and the column name is ID. So this ID name of the column is automatically generated by Spark. Since I given range one, it will give you one row. That is for first line of code. And if you come for second line of code, spark.range 5. So range 5 means it will generate total 5 rows. So starting from 0 to 4. So why I explained here is, so here my code starts with spark.range 1. So range one means I want to print one row, and by default ID column will come as 0. But what I did here, instead of, since I'm not selected ID column inside select statement, so it directly printing only these two columns. Suppose if you mention ID here in double quotes, first ID, then it will print ID 0 also. Total 3 columns will get. So here first what I'm doing, first I'm printing today's date. So for printing today's date, so we have function called current underscore date. So it will print you today's date. Since I'm using select function, we need to provide the alias here. So that is column name is today, and for current underscore date, it printing today's date. And I'm adding one more column, that is this one, in alias I given after 10 days. So that means my scenario is like how to add 10 days to current date. Since it is mentioned to current date, what I'm doing, first I'm writing the function date underscore add. For adding the the days to current date, we had to use this date underscore add function, and inside that what I'm giving current underscore date. So that means that is today, it will print today's date, that is this one. For this date I'm adding 10 days. If you see here difference in this new column, see here day is 7. Since it adds 10 days, it will become 17. And if you see this syntax, date underscore add, so inside that we need to provide date column. Since my scenario is for adding 10 days to current date, so I mentioned current underscore date. So if you have any data frame, predefined data frame, then you can pass that particular date column here. Okay, and if you see the syntax date underscore add, we need to provide the column and this value. So what is the number of days we need to provide? So that is this one here. So we need to provide one date column and we need to provide some integer value that indicates number of days we want to add it. So that is about first scenario, like how to add 10 days to current date. And the next scenario is how to subtract 7 days from current date. That means we had to provide negative value to subtract the days. So here I'm writing spark.range1 to print only one row. Since my scenario is I want to subtract from current date. Current date means today's date. So here I'm doing dot select, and first I'm trying to generate column name called today by using current underscore date. So that means it will print today's date. And on top of that, I'm creating one more column that is before 7 days. Before 7 days means subtracting 7 days. So from where we need to subtract? From current date. So here I passed current date. And since I want to subtract 7 days, I given -7. So our function is date underscore add, and inside that I provided the date and I provided the number of days to subtract. And if you see here, this is today's date. Since it is subtracting 7 days, so this will become this one. Since February comes up to 28, if you do -7 days, you will get this February 28. So next one is how to subtract 30 days from column. As of now, we saw about from current date. So from current date means today's date. we used a function called current underscore date. And since we are not passing any data, I used spark dot range one. So now my scenario is I have one sample data frame. The data is like this. So dates I'm passing as string values. By using spark.create data frame, this data I'm passing here, and my column name is order underscore date. So if I create a data frame by using this line of code, what it will generate, order underscore date, and you will get these values. But since we passed as a string, we'll get string value here. That means the data type is string. But here, okay, so but here, since it is a string, what I did in same line of code, I used with column to change the data type, to change the data type from string to date type. So for that, what I did with column, and I want to change this order date column, and I'm passing column name here, call of order date, and I'm using dot cast method to convert date type. So that's why it's showing direct date column. Suppose if you define variable separate here one variable and here one variable, then you will find here string and one more order underscore date, we'll see date. Since I written in single line of code, so directly is showing date. So the same thing you can see date data type here. So now I have date column. So now what I'm doing, see here, subtract 30 days from column. So that means now I have column. Instead of today's date, I created one column, date column. So on top of that, what I'm doing, here I'm creating one column that is previous underscore 30 days. So that is this column, previous underscore 30 days. Here what I'm doing, what it means previous 30 days means we are subtracting the 30 days to this column. So what I'm doing, I'm writing the function like date underscore add, and inside that I'm providing the column that is order underscore date, and I'm providing the value. So minus 30 means 30 days I'm subtracting here. So what will happen? Suppose if you see this is the first value from this particular date, it will subtract 30 days. If we subtract 30 days, what we'll get here? 2025. Here February 1st is there. So here we'll get January 2nd. Okay, so and to show the difference between these, that means to confirm whether this value, whatever generated value is correct, what we can do is for cross verify, we can use a dot with column name are given difference underscore days. So here I'm using date difference function, date difference, and we need to provide two date columns inside this. My first date column is this one, order date, and second column is previous 30 days, this one. So now what will happen? So it will print the difference between these two dates. It will print in the form of number of days, integer value. So since I subtracted 30 days, so we'll get all differences 30 days. Okay, so this is only to cross verify this one. So our main target is this one, how to add days, either how to add number of days or how to subtract number of days. So next, I want to add 5 days for existing date column. So my date column is this one, order underscore date. So for this, I want to add 5 days. So what I'm doing with column and delivery underscore date, that is my new column name. Here I'm using date underscore add. And inside that I'm providing the date column, that is order underscore date. And I'm providing number of days as 5. So what will happen? So current date is, that means our input to date is 2025 to 1. So for this, it will add 5 days. So this 1 become 6. So here this 15 plus 5 become 20. So here 12, 12 plus 5, 17. So 25 plus 5, 30. 10 plus 5, 15. 25 plus 5, 30. 17 plus 5, 22. And to confirm this one, this result, what I'm doing, again I'm using adding one column, that is different underscore difference underscore days. Here I'm using date difference function. So for date difference function, so we need to provide two date columns. So that is, first I'm providing this one, delivery underscore date, and one more is order underscore date. So if you check the difference between these two dates, it will give you the difference of days. Since we added only 5 days, so we'll get all as 5. So that means we can confirm that all values are added correctly. So next scenario is how to add dynamic days using another column. So that means days added based on another column value. So if you compare with previous sample data frame, so in previous sample data frame, I have only date values. That means only one column I have, order underscore date. But here I am adding one more column, that is days to add. So that is integer type. So start underscore date, that is this one, and this is a date, and we are passing as string type. These are all string values. And the second column is date to add, that is integer type, that is this one, these values. So here I am manually writing the schema here. So struct type, and inside struct type I have two struct fields. For each column, one struct field I mentioned here. And these functions I imported here from SQL.types. I imported this struct type, struct field, and string type, integer type. And next, now based on this, I can create my data frame, spark.create data frame, and I'm passing this data here, and I define this schema here. So now my data frame will create, but so initially it will be of string type. So this column initially will be of string type. So what I will do here to convert to date type, I'm adding dot with column, and on top of this column, that means overwriting the column with column. If I'm mentioning column name as same, that means overwriting the column. And as per syntax, I'm writing call of start date. So this column, I'm using cast method, dot cast, and changing to date type. So that is the reason we are getting here date. And same thing you can see here, start underscore date as date data type, days to add, that is integer type. Okay, so next, after converting to date, what I'm doing is for this particular data frame, that means df underscore dynamic is up to here. So here df underscore dynamic, initially this one. and one more variable created, df underscore dynamic underscore final. So this one here, what I'm doing here, I'm adding one more column by using with column, that is new underscore date, this one. So here I'm using the function date underscore add. Here what I'm doing, as per syntax, first I'm defining the column. So for which date column I want to add the days. So that is my this one start underscore date. So start underscore date, I mentioned column name. Then so normally we need to pass the number of days to add here. So if you see initially, so we can add directly either integer value, see here, or days. Days we can pass in the form of either integer value or an integer column representing the number of days to add. That means add underscore date underscore add, and if you give some value, suppose instead of this one, if you add some number here, suppose 5 or 10, what will happen? That same constant value, it will apply to each and every value. But here, for each date, I'm using different days here. I want to add different days here. Okay, so that is this one, dynamic days. But that means using another column. So that is the reason here I'm defined call of days to add. That means this particular column I'm taking a reference to add number of days. That means for this particular day, this is the reference, this is the value need to add. So here 25 to 1 is there. If you add 3, it will become 2, 4. So here 3, 10 is there. If you add 7, it will become 17. And here 20 is there. So 20 plus 10, it will become 30. So here 25 is there. 25 plus 6, it will become 31. So here 30 is there. So 30 plus 15, here you will get 14. So I think this particular month has 31 also. So the we are getting 40. And here 10 is there. 10 plus 20, 30 will get. So here 22 is there. 22 plus 5, 27. So earlier we are providing some constant value, that is either 5 or 10. So that 5 is adding to all the values. But here different days we are adding here. So next scenario is by using SQL query, how to do the same thing. So for this, what I'm doing, df underscore dynamic, that is my previous data frame, that is this one. So df underscore dynamic means only these two columns. So only these two columns. What I'm doing, I'm creating one view here, temporary view, by using df underscore dynamic dot create or replace temp. So here I'm creating temporary view and I'm giving name as artist. So after creating temporary view, I'm calling this view by using spark.sql, and inside that within triple quote we can write our SQL code. So in this, what I want to call select start underscore date, and so here I'm not called this second column days to add, but what I did is I called only start underscore date, and additionally I created one more column, that is after 50 days. So that means here I used date underscore add, and I passed column is this one start underscore date, and for this I want to add 15 days. If you see here, 2, 1 is there. So 1 plus 15, 16. 10 is there. 10 plus 15, 25. 20 plus 15, 35. So 35 means, so this month is up to 31st. So we will get 4. And here 25 is there. 25 plus 15, 40. So 40 means this month is coming up to 31st. So we are getting 9. So here 30 is there. 30 plus 15. So this also up to 31. So we are getting 40. And here 10 is there. 10 plus 15, 25. Here 22 is there. 22 plus 15, 27, 37. So it is coming up to 31st. So we are getting 6. So like this, we can use the SQL. So here two things we can do. Like first we can create the view. So here what I did, first I created view, then I used spark.sql method. So you can do one more method also. First what you can do is you can write the same thing here. First you can create the temporary view in one cell. What I'll do, I'll write separately. So in second cell, what we can do is instead of writing _spark.sql, we can simply write the SQL statement with magic comments. Maybe instead of text, I will write code. I'll remove this one, and maybe I will write this one also in code. I'll remove this one. So there are two ways we can do. So first you can create temporary view, and by using %SQL, you can run this SQL command, or otherwise in single cell, you can write this line of code for creating the temporary view, and by using spark.sql, you can call it. So you can say this is method 1, and this is method 2. So you can follow either of the thing. So I will keep in commented mode. So I will keep commented, and this also commented. So this is about how to do in SQL. And one more thing is date arithmetic. So that means adding and subtracting days. So same thing, but here uh, what I'm doing is spark.range1. That means for printing single row, then dot select, and my first column is current underscore date alias today. So my column name is today. It will print today's date. So this line of code, it will print you this one. And next line of code is this one. So my next column is this one plus 10 days. That means for this today's date, I want to add 10 days. So how can I add it is, I can write the function like date underscore add current underscore date. So for this today's date, I want to add 10 days. So here 7 is there, 7 plus 10, you'll get 17. At the same time, I want to subtract uh, minus 5 days. So first I written date underscore add. Now I'm writing date underscore subtract. So these are all two different functions. So in this particular video, mainly we are discussing about date underscore add. So for this, I will make separate video, but how it works is date underscore sub. We am providing current date, that is today's date. This one I am passing 5. Since it is subtract, what it will do minus 5 days. So this 7 become 2. So next, one more function is last day. So for last day, I'm passing this one same current date, that is this one, and last day of the month. The function last underscore day is last day of the month. That means current date is this one, 2026 3/7. Since this is last day of the month, what it will print in this particular month 3, so it will print last day. So sometimes if you want to come to know whether the month will end at 30th or 31st or 28, so we can use this function last underscore date. And if you see previous thing, so some places we got confused. So like suppose 25, so 25, I think one more, yeah. So here, so 25 plus 15. So here number of days is 15. 25 plus 15 means 40. So if you assume this 7th month end at 30th, then it should come 10. 8th month 10. But it is coming 9 means it meaning that this July month it coming up to 31st. So what we can do here is to avoid this thing for better understanding, we can add this function here. So that means we can add one more line of code like last day. So that is this one last day, and I'm passing column here start date, last day start date, and giving alias as last day of the month. So now if you try to print, we can avoid the confusion. So what I will do, first I will run from here. First, let it create this data frame first. So mainly for creating the view, we require this one, df underscore dynamic. All is not defined. So at the initial, I called all the functions. So call. So I will run this one. Now I will rerun again this one. Okay. So now this data frame is created. So in this mainly we require df underscore dynamic. So for df underscore dynamic, this one I'm creating one temporary view that is called orders. So if I run this one, what will happen here in between? It will generate one more column that is last day of the month. So if you see what it is generating here is last day of the month is 2025 February. So here one is there. Suppose if you want to know this month when it ends, whether 28th or 30, 31st, so it will give you. So since it is February, it is ending at 28th, so it printing 28. And a similar way, 1 plus 15. So 1 plus 15, 16. So this is clear, no confusion. So here 310 is there, March month. So March month ending at 31st. But here 30 is there. 30 plus 15, 25. So here no confusion. So here fifth month, 28th. So for this fifth month, it is coming up to 31st. So here 20 plus 15, if you add it generally 35, but we are getting 4 here. So that means it ending at 31st. So that means 11 days here, 20, 31, 11 days here, and remaining 4 days. So here 4 is come. So now the understanding will be easy. So now this is over. Next, what I'm doing, same current underscore date as today. So today's date is printing. On top of that, here additionally I'm printing add months. So we already saw this one. What it does, date underscore add and date underscore sub and the last day, and additionally added 2 columns, that is by using add underscore months. So now what will happen here, for current date it will add 10 days. If you see here 7 date is there, it will add 10 days, that means 17, that is plus 7 days. And date underscore sub 5, so 5 means it will subtract the 5 days, that is minus 5 days. So how we are getting here, 3 7 is there. If you do minus 7, we'll get this one. So if you do minus 5, sorry, minus 5, so we'll get 3 2. And one more thing is plus 2 months, that is this one. So current date means that is today. So here what is the month? 3, 3rd March. So for this we are adding 2 months. That means this 3 become 5 now. So 2026 5 7. And similar way minus 2. So add months, current date minus 2 as minus 2 months. That is this one. For current date, that is this one. Here month is 3. If you do minus 2, so it will become 1. So 2026 1 7. And similar way last day of current month. So 3 7 is there. So for this March month, 31st is the last day of the month. Okay, so that's all about this video on how to use date underscore add function. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.